What's going on, Capricorn? Welcome to your Burning Questions tarot reading. I hadn't done one of these for a while, so I thought I would throw one together. And I also just wanted to see what the energies had to say, so I'm just as curious as you are, so let's dive in. The question we're dealing with today first, though, is what do I need to nurture? Typically, we have a pretty good idea of this, but I wanted to see what the energies would have to say. And for a lot of the different signs, it's been really, really well. For all of the signs, it's been amazing. So we're going to see what yours has to say. All right, Cappies? So I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn, please? Messages for Capricorn. Well, kind of came out and went back in. That was the Strength card. It really wants to be out. Okay, so I'm going to put it out because it almost fell out again. 111 on the time. All right, so that was the Page of Wands and the Strength card. A lot of fire. I'm hearing that you might have an idea or two. Like there might be something that you're working on that you're finding particularly fruitful or useful. There's a lot of cards that, well, that's fine. Okay, so Four of Swords, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups. So I think you need to embrace some healing here. So let me pull the rest of these out. There's a lot that's coming out for your spread, Cap. So I'm quite excited. Spirit's very spirited, as it were, for this reading. So let's see where we go here. This one too, King of Swords and the Seven of Swords, and ending on the Hierophant. Okay, so you're beginning, like, to know now about your energy is that there's some small spark. There's a spark of inspiration that's leaving you feeling really confident right now, Capricorn. There's a little spark that is likely to prove very fruitful. This could also just be you looking at this part of yourself that feels like a bit of an initiate, right? You could have fire placements in your chart because of how prominent this is, but I almost get like this is you in this like more established major arcana energy, kind of looking at yourself and where you've been and where you've come from. This is how you started, and now, well, this is started from the bottom. Now we hear like that song. I think it's Drake, which is very Toronto, I know, but I get that energy where you're really like reflecting on some things. Maybe sometimes this is what we do 333 on the time. This is what we do when we have ideas that we want to mobilize or move something on or about. And I feel like you are taking these steps already, but this is just maybe a pause or a reflection period because we have the Four of Swords here, which is rest, right? Some rest. And then we have the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups here together. So to me, this is about a bit of an overflow of love and appreciation. I think that you may be making peace with some mistakes that you've made, or just, like I almost get this as like a cringing energy. Like this Four of Swords is like cringing because of maybe where you like just when you were younger, like the silly things that we do that we can kind of make ourselves feel a certain way about for life. Right? But it's like you're forgiving yourself. This is kind of an opening up, an inward opening. Like you're opening up internally, inwardly. And you're really embracing. This is like, this could be love. If you're in a relationship already, this is kind of a deepening of that. You're taking it someplace deeper. And because you're healing different parts of yourself, different parts of you are now open up for you to give to others. They're opened up for you to, they're now available for you to give to another person. So even if you're in a relationship already, and this isn't about new love, looks like new love to me coming in. It could be also new love for what you do, for a different project. And this is very true of relationships too, where when we heal different parts of ourselves, and this is how people can surprise us after, like, I've heard, and seen these like TikToks and stuff like that, where people are like, this person surprises me even after 15 years together. And that's how that can happen, right? You heal, you go deeper within yourself, and then you can go deeper in connection with other people. And I think that might be what's happening here. If you're already in a relationship, I feel like there's a deepening of yourself, and you're able to offer different aspects of yourself. With work, it could be that you're looking back on some part of, who you were when you started, and you're making peace with that, and there's something that's unlocking to you. This could be the idea, right? This could be, because I heard that there was something about a specific idea coming through. And then interestingly, to release is this King of Swords and Seven of Swords. This is very intense energy. This is really intense energy, where it's like it's not just like a winning at all costs, but it's almost like the King of Swords has like, it's like a part of you is doing the King of Swords bidding internally. Like energetically speaking, it's like there's a part of you that's doing this kind of take whatever you can get and like leave the rest. And then it's like there's a part of you that feels like maybe that's what you've had to do in leadership positions. Maybe that's what you've had to, or that's like an energy you've had to reconcile with, like people doing that to you. This could also be in relationships. This can be someone who is very in their ego. And now the Five of Swords is more representative of needing to win at all costs. But I get that the Seven of Swords could potentially be an aspect of yourself that you're calling back home. Like you're calling this part of you back home. This is, again, like this looking back, this reflective, like where you were when you started. Like that's the kind of, it's almost like I get this as like an intern energy. Seven of Swords is not, and it's not because it's a thieving energy. It's nothing like that. I get that from this because it's like this, I get this energy of having to rush around and pick up whatever you can, arms full of coffees, trying to get everything done for everybody. And then that's what turned you into this King of Swords energy. This very, very, I'm getting quite cold energy on this, to be honest. And I feel like it's a warming up, like it's spring, like you're the snow is melting, and you're going into this, how the light gets in is through this Hierophant energy, which to me it can represent institutions and traditions, but I feel like this is more you upending them and making them your own. Like this is you leaving your mark, Capricorn. So what you're really nurturing is your mark. You're nurturing your mark here, that to make not just on the world, but wherever you are, because we influence people and affect people all the time, right? So it's like, how are we doing that and truly stepping into our power? Like, how are we letting that happen and allowing ourselves to be in that place? So Page of Wands and Strength. Spirit, can you please clarify this for me? Whoa, the cards are like flying out here. So we have the we have the Ace of Wands, the Wheel, then we also have the Two of Cups and the Sun. If this wasn't about a relationship before, dang, this is like super passionate relationship, but this is also passionately engaged in what you're doing. So if this isn't about a relationship for you, this can just mean work that you're doing. This is an expansion. This is like going from the intern to the coordinator to the supervisor to the manager. Like it's that kind of jump. Like it's a progression. So I feel like there's something about this that's like, and this is like networking and connections if it's not about relationship. So it's like there's something really joyful and exciting here, and this is the idea. That's that spark. This is the idea. If this is exclusively about relationships for you, I feel like there is a very fire-oriented energy. Pages are younger, but the Strength card here is showing up in a funny way. So it's almost like someone that's quite that isn't afraid to let all of them be seen. And the Ace of Wands to the Sun to the Two of Cups to the Wheel tells me that there's something really passionate about this connection for you. It's a passionate connection for sure. And it's making you want to expand. It's making you want to grow. And like, it's what better relationship than that, like that needs to be a dynamic in them, right? The evolution, the growth, the coming together, all of these energies where it's like, we are, embracing ourselves, we're embracing the other person. There's like a fearlessness that can overtake us in relationships there, right? There's a fearlessness that can overtake us in relationships there, because it allows us to grow with another person. It allows us to build with another person. But it really does start with that sense of ourselves. And just in terms of like being in our strength, like we have to be in our strength and want to evolve, but that it's like, it's not about having just a ride or die in a human being in a relationship with you. It's about having someone that isn't afraid to grow and isn't fearing growth, because they know that change is crucial and really important to a healthy relationship. Because the more that you grow, the more you learn, the more you can sink into an intimate place with somebody, right? Spirit, can you please clarify this Four of Swords, Page of Cups, and Ace of Cups, please? And thank you so much. High Priestess. Oh my God. If you're looking for a relationship, Capricorn, this is really amazing for relationship energy. But I also feel like this is a deepening of commitment energy too. So this could be like reinvigorating, like life, like breathing life into your work again, breathing life into your friendships again. And it's informed by your intuition. There's a sense of like you knowing this, but there are steps that you're taking that are so deeply connected to your intuition, and it's being such a profound guide for you right now, because it's clarifying the Four of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So this sense of rest that you're coming to, because this is allowing you to sink deeper into yourself. I think it's also allowing you to connect better to, for 11:11 on the time, it's allowing you to connect not better but more deeply, more fully to your intuition. The moon. Yeah, I don't think that you can necessarily, the helpers that you have right now in terms of energies, and I feel like there's a lot of this process that you can't see right now. You can't see the process because it's happening behind the scenes within you. And I feel as though this is a deeply, I was going to say High Priestess time, a deeply psychic time for you, like where the guidance and synchronicities are going to come to you. Can you rely on them exclusively for everything? No. But at the same time, they can certainly guide you on the path, and it'll lead you to one thing that'll lead you to another thing. You certainly have to still stay grounded in your life, but you can absolutely be connected. Yeah, I think that this is like letting go of the frustration. Remember how I said that it felt like there was a reflection period here on this part of you in the past or something along those lines, and you're like frustrated with that. But it's like you're releasing these frustrations. And I think that they might have just been burdens that you couldn't see you were carrying that were kind of blocking access to this Page of Cups energy within yourself. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn? Okay, so we have the page, Queen of Wands and the Empress. Wow. So this is kind of how you're coming up here. This is like, this is like going from the manager to the executives to like CEO vibes, right? Like, because the Empress is the counterpart to the Emperor, and I kind of get like people say, oh, the Emperor is the boss vibes. Well, so is the Empress. So is the Empress. Like, let's do some she-EOing here, right? Like, you know, or they EOing if you're non-binary, right? Like that, it's that vibe where it's like it's a commanding presence. And when beside the Queen of Wands, this is something that is it really is like you release the Ten of Wands, and then you step into the Queen of Wands from the page over here, and then you're up into the Empress. And that's like, this is a deeply passionate time, but giving from that place, giving of yourself, breathing life into your work from that place is going to be incredible for you, Capricorn. And I don't know why, like it feels work centric, and it's not because you're Capricorn. That stuff is crap. Like it's not like that. I'm just getting these vibes off of this because of these two cards here. Like it's like reflecting on the past a little bit, not in a way that's like keeping you there, but just reflective, right? Reflecting on the past. And I think that this Queen of Wands energy here is about you. I think this is about you being in an energy of stability, peace, Empress as well. Like this is a bit more stability for you. Now flip this to a relationship. If this is what you're here for, I know many people do. So, I think that there are things that you couldn't see that you needed to heal that were keeping you from accessing this Page of Cups internally. But then also that's the receptive energy too, right? Like you can't give a Page of Pentacles, oh my goodness, Page of Cups if you're not, you can't give a Page of Cups if you're not in that your energy yourself, right? That's where people say like you make space in your life to date, to have someone in your life to get to know like that, right? Because you're not going to be, it's going to be a different way of organizing your time. And I think that you kind of get to that point where there's something that needed to be healed in order for you to access this. So you do that work, you take that step, you take that journey, and then you're into this Ace of Cups where it's like a new opportunity. This could just be dating, like this is very sweet, flirty energy. And this is where you're like, oh, I've got feelings for this person. Like I like them a lot. And by a lot, I mean a lot. Big feelings, love, right? Like that progression forward. So I think that's demonstrative of this, is like what you need to embrace is that process. And if you feel that process taking place in your life, Capricorn, then I feel like you need to embrace that, right? You need to embrace it, because having feelings, like I've often said before, because I dated someone and they told me they loved me really quickly, and I was like, but how do you know? You don't know me necessarily. Like how does that work? And it wasn't like trying to negate their feelings. It was just like, but there's still so much that you don't know. And it's not to shut that down, but it's to get out of that logical place, like make it make sense, pull out of that, Capricorn, right? If you're in that place. Because I think this is something, it's a knowing that you have. It's a knowing that you have. And I think you have to lean into that more so. Certainly still stay connected and grounded, but I think that you really have to let go of the burden of what you can't see. That's, I mean, I was in my 20s at the time, so I was like, what do you mean? You don't even know. Like, I haven't even like burped in front of you. And it's not like it's I'm not like a dinosaur when I do it, but it's like, it's that energy of like, how do you know for like, what? Wait. But it's like getting rid of that. Don't make it make sense, because sometimes love just doesn't, right? It doesn't. And I think that that's where, again, if this was relationship energy, this is really you in a very, very fruitful place, in a very overflowing place, in a giving place, right? This Empress energy is really, really beautiful to me. It's beautiful because like this could also be a little bit of like same sex, so gay relationship. This could be queer a little bit, but I'm getting more of this energy as being you. You embracing passion and understanding that embracing passion in the unknown. So embracing the unknown, you still pull up as the Empress and the Queen of Wands. You still show up in that energy, right? So then we have the King of Swords and the Seven of Swords. King of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Capricorns? Yeah, remember how I told you about that's like, it's almost like you were modeling a behavior that was modeled for you, and it's like needing to add a little more heart. Well, I feel like this is like really thrown you for a loop. Like this has really sent you somewhere not great, Capricorn. And this can be like lost sleep over things. This can be feeling bad, like feeling crummy about where you are or how, like if this is what it is and this is what it has to be, yuck. Like, just ugh, right? Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn? Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you're very invested. Like whatever you do, you're invested in deeply. But I feel like there's like this reassessment period, because it's like you're making a new way for yourself with this Hierophant here. So you're making a new way for yourself. And I feel like this is like a departure from this kind of energy into something a little bit, into something that fits you better. Something that fits you better. You're very clear though, right? The Seven of Swords, we do these, like this kind of thing. Again, it's that intern energy. Busy, taking a second whenever you can. People are like, when do you relax? Oh, I don't. Right? It's just that constant motion energy. And this King of Swords to me is about, clarity that you're gaining over, like if you felt like you had to be in that place, especially as like intern energy, like, like if you felt that, it's safe to release it. And this Nine of Swords and Eight of Pentacles to me is about, really releasing it and doing the work. You're putting in the work to let go of that, right? This is you being very invested in what you're doing, not only in the sense like you're very passionate about it. You had 10 wands in your hands. You have this huge new idea that's amazing. So much fire energy here. But there's something that you really had to let go of in terms of the way that you viewed your work. And I think that you do. And you're moving forward. You're moving on. And not just a little bit. Like the chariot isn't just movement, it's momentum. That's the big difference. The chariot is both, right? So it has both energies as part of it. And I feel like this 10 of Swords here is the real release that needs to be the main focus, because I feel like you're there, like you're right there. We have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands in this particular spread. So Capricorn, you're not just nurturing, you're letting go of something altogether. And I feel like if it's not related to work, I feel like this is just a way of viewing yourself. Like you are only deserving of a 7 of Swords. But you're very clear about this, right? Like now you understand how some people can be strategic like a 7 of Swords, but you're strategic like a King of Swords, because you're assessing what's important to you. You're assessing values. You're seeing that maybe you were treated like this in the past in relationships, but you're very clear on what is important to you, and you don't really take any crap. And this could also just be assessing values in relationships. And if you're in a relationship already and this is something more long-term facing, this could be just a values assessment with your partner. Like what's most important to us, and how have we in our energy, have we been modeling this behavior instead of this? Like how is that working, right? Like have we felt like as a couple, we're in this 7 of Swords vibe more than the King of Swords, right? If you have like in terms of the Christina Lopes video and the sacred partnerships, I'm thinking about the third energy that can be formed, right? That third energy. What is that third energy calling to the both of you? Is it calling these, or is it calling this? Because there's a big difference, right? Is it calling a 7 of Swords, or is it calling the King of Swords? And I think this 9 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, Chariot, and 10 of Swords is it's an invitation to release. But I feel like you've already been doing this. That's where you're sitting in this Taurus Hierophant energy of a little bit more comfort for yourself, number one. But number two, I feel like there's more, there's clarity informed by the King of Swords, and you're starting to make these new traditions for yourself, and you're breaking the mold a little bit, I think. You're breaking the mold a bit. And I think that you're unapologetic about it, and rightly so, right? Rightly so. You do not, these are almost like, this is like, you don't earn the right to speak your voice. You just have that right. But I get from this is that it's important for you to know that the pain that you've experienced was not without purpose, and you're gaining a sense of that purpose by making the path for yourself, right? It's allowing you to step forward. I'm hearing Chiron. There could be some kind of Chiron wounding at play here as well. Eight of Cups, yeah. That's the moving away. I feel like this is like the moving away energy. Oops. It's like a moving away energy. You're stepping back from things that weren't working before. This could also be related to the Taurus and Scorpio eclipses that are happening throughout the year. The next one is happening October 25th, and that's a partial solar eclipse in Scorpio. And November 8th is the total lunar eclipse in Taurus. So it could be around November 8th that there's just something that you're like, nope, I'm like, you finally let that last aspect of this go. And like you've already let go, or around that time you're going to find, you're going to be able to reflect on this journey that I saw here. This is like a reflection in the way that it showed up. And that could be this here around November. You're going to reflect back and be like, wow, I am really glad that I did that, Capricorn. Really glad that I did that. There's a risk with everything, right? Even making the path for yourself, that's a risk too. Because if it's never been done before, how do you know that it's going to be okay? You don't. But you rely on whether you are okay with you. And you rely on your skills and great questions. And you make the path, right? You make the path. Eight of Cups, King of Pentacles. Strength card again. Yeah, see, this is that reflection. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is absolutely that reflection, because we have the Strength card here and the Page of Wands. So it's like looking back, like I said. Then we're looking back as the King of Pentacles, looking at the Strength card instead of the Page of Wands. So you're like, no, it went from an idea to something that was grounded and bigger. Like it was much bigger, and it was a worthy investment. This is also earth energy, so that Taurus The total lunar eclipse in Taurus on November 8th may be very important for you. This could also just be a decision that you made to date someone, and then you make things official over the summer. And then in November, you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I did that because this is amazing, right? That it could be something as simple as that in relationship too. In terms of deepening of commitment, I see the Hierophant here, so that can indicate marriage. So you could be, getting engaged over the summer. You could be getting engaged in the fall, right? You could be deepening in that kind of commitment as well. You could also be passing, this could be indicative of a probation period for a job you start, right? You could be starting a job and you make it through the probation period with flying colors. So that is a possibility as well. And then the Knight of Swords, yeah, forward movement here. Very fast, decided, and sure. Ace of Cups. Why wouldn't it be the Ace of Cups? It's like starting on a new idea and ending with a full cup. You can't really ask for more than that, Capricorn. Starting with a new idea, and then as you progress through this beautiful journey here, we're releasing the way we've been doing things. We're leaning into our own strength. We're healing. You're getting to this point of writing your own story for you, not because it's always been done that way. But the Ace of Cups here is like going from an idea to a full cup. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Cannot ask for something better than that. So we're going to go into the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley and see where that takes us for you, my Capricorns. Whoa. If they once loved you, they still do. Thanks for every single time you ever fell in love. Whether or not it was obvious, whether or not it lasted, and whether or not you were loved back, it changed everything. Actually, you're always loved back. Yeah, so it's about, I think, sinking into seeing the purpose of things, big picture, which is kind of the story here. Like this could be, jobs or situations, relationships, friendships, family situations, and things like that, where you just didn't feel appreciated. And now this is you leaning into that sense of appreciation, and you're leaning into not just that, but like a deeper sense of yourself along the way too, Capricorn, which is really good. And I feel like you needed to know that. Maybe you needed to know that people cared more than they said, and it's not your job to intuit that. You should never lean on that kind of knowledge or get into that kind of situation. But I feel like all the energy is here pointing to this notion that like the love that you gave didn't go unnoticed. The love that you gave didn't go unnoticed. Those you love you. It's reciprocal appreciation, right? And I think this is what you're cultivating here, going from this King of Swords, like we're going from the Seven of Swords to the King of Swords, right? And this is about too, like how are you working with your own energy? And I think about this in terms of that third energy that I mentioned too. If you're in a relationship, right? Like how are you working with that energy? And understanding it and allowing it to become more than just a passing thing in your energy, right? It's not that it's a passing thing. How do I word this? Your awareness of it to be passing, right? Like, how do you use that energy? What's your intention for it? How do you hope that it heals other people? How does it affect other people? Have you seen it affect other people? Like, what is that? How are you cultivating that third energy if you're in a sacred partnership, right? Like, I don't know. That's interesting. Spirit, what messages do you... Okay, both. 1 and 2. That was quick. The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. Yes, that is with the Swords energy here. King of Swords, you know what you want, and then going forth. That's this Knight of Swords here, right? We're reflecting on things, but the key here is like go from the idea to the cup, you have to go for it. So this is like a message to kind of take the leap, to go for it. You have to ask for what you want. You have to, like, we can put things on vision boards and all of that stuff, but ultimately we have to go for it at some point or another. Like with this channel, I had to just go for it. Like the first couple of videos, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. But you figure it out as you go along, and then you do it. And then once you've done it for a while, then you're really doing it. And then you can evolve and tweak and change things, right? So I pray before I pay. So this is about looking at what you're investing in. And not just investing in financially, but I'm thinking emotionally, and looking at where your energy is going, and just making sure that you're because there's a lot of joy that you're expanding into here. You have the Ace of Wands, the Sun, the Two of Cups, and the Wheel. It would not shock me if you were not in a relationship, but by the end of, I would say by November, if there was something like that evolved for you, Capricorn. there's Jupiter and energy here, which is it's kind of like the lucky planet. A lot of people consider it that way, but this is really about an expansion of. I'm hearing an expansion of your heart space specifically because of the Ace of Cups here, but it's really leaning into that and letting it happen. And what you invest in energetically and emotionally will no doubt impact and be impacted by these things, right? That's the wheel turning. You turn the wheel with decisions you make and choices, right? It's all choices. So the choices that you make, you're making good ones. And I don't know if you just need like a high five and like a hug and to know that you're absolutely on the right path. So, and also there was one energy here that I saw. Where is it here? Yeah, if people are, so just a side note, Capricorn, before we go, if there are people who are trying to make you feel responsible for their problems or their burdens or their frustrations at this time, just be very cautious, because you might not see it. It might creep up on you, but it's just important to be aware of your own energy so that you can see when you're being drained or you're feeling like you're carrying this. I think too that it's a sense of just monitoring how you're interacting with other people, because there are things you might not be able to see as yet or right this minute, but I think that it will become clearer with your intuition. Your intuition is going to be really powerful, so just watch those dynamics. And it's not about like watch them because bad things are going to happen. It's nothing like that. It's just watch them because your energy is precious and needs, you have the Four of Swords here. There's obviously something that you're healing from, so it's just about watching where your energy goes, and also understanding that where perspective goes, energy flows, right? So that, Capricorn, is your reading. However, so if this resonated, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I am so appreciative to every single one of you who do watch. I greatly appreciate that. If there are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, so please feel free to do that. But wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, Capricorn, if this is where we leave it, morning, afternoon, or night, I hope it finds you very well, my darlings. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. Take care.